You're wondering how to get a job in venture capital. In this video, I will review 5 things that venture capital firms look for when hiring, and I will give you actionable items that you can work on to increase your chances of breaking into venture capital. Let's cut to the chase. Venture capital is highly competitive. I've been working in the field for years and had lots of people reach out to me to ask how I got into the field and what they can do to improve their chances. So I thought I could just make a video that I could link them to. I will share what we look for when we hire new interns, new associates, analysts, principals, and give you tips that will make you stand out. If venture capital or entrepreneurship interests you, subscribe to this channel or check out my other videos. All right, let's get right to it. There are several profiles that we look for when hiring new people. Number 1 is the founder or entrepreneur. This person is ideal for venture capital because founders and entrepreneurs usually have a lot of operating experience and know what it takes to grow a company. This is usually a person that has already founded their own company or has worked in the upper management for a fast-growing startup. Of course, this is hard to achieve if you're in college or undergrad, but it's not impossible. Some founders even drop out of university and don't have any college degree, and that's fine. In that case, grades are less important. But even if you already have entrepreneurship experience, that doesn't mean that we automatically give you a job. So, I see here that you already founded a company. You're hired. Just kidding. Of course, it's not that easy. We still look at the founder's background and the history of their company. Did they fundraise? And if so, how much did they raise? What was their company's track record? How much revenue did they have? What kind of company were they? How many people did they hire? Was the entrepreneur in the operating role or on the tech side? All these things matter when we consider hiring an entrepreneur. The second profile we look for is a person that has already had experience in venture capital or angel investing. This could either be from previous jobs, internships, or prior investments. This is usually harder to achieve for university students because it is typically harder to get a job or internship in venture capital, especially if you're still an undergrad and studying. But it's not impossible. For this profile, it helps a lot to show your track record and talk about previous investments that you've made. You can talk about the investments that gone well and talk about your thesis behind them and what you did to make that investment happen. The third profile is someone with quantitative experience. Sometimes these people are also referred to as quants, and there's more often a role for quantitative analysts in larger VCs, growth stage VCs, or private equity firms. This is a role that's perfect for people that love numbers and spreadsheets. They're usually wizards with Excel and they know how to create great business models. They dig into them and see what's important and what's not. They can usually pick out those points and then present them really well with a presentation and pass them along to people that make the investment decision. When you apply for the role as a quant, you usually want to show some experience with Excel, with financial modeling, and these are usually jobs in private equity or in investment banking. This is usually one of the more popular paths for university students to get into venture capital. The fourth profile is for someone with a lot of tech experience. This is usually someone who's worked in technology and has a lot of experience coding or with hardware and has a deep knowledge of a certain field. To increase your chances with this profile, I would recommend just go out there and get a tech internship or a tech job. Study market trends, learn how to program or understand technology really well. The fifth profile is more general. This is usually a person who has shown a ton of initiative in whatever field they work in. This person usually has a lot of knowledge in different fields and is able to connect the dots of how they integrate with one another. These people can usually analyze markets really well and understand market trends. These people usually also publish their work openly. They write open source code, they have a blog, a YouTube channel, podcast. They share their thought process online with the world. To demonstrate initiative, simply show initiative. No, but for real, you can do that by publishing blogs, write white papers, create a following on Twitter or on YouTube, share your thoughts online and see what people have to say. Another way to show initiative is to work on open source projects and work with collaborative teams across the world. And here's a bonus tip. It goes without saying that if you can show skills from each one of those profiles, you're best off. So combining those skills and showing a lot of different skill sets that we just discussed can be super helpful when getting a job in venture capital. In general, what all these profiles have in common is that all these people show initiative and show curiosity. They love learning and think independently. They can usually dig down into subjects really deeply and understand them fairly quickly. Often people have a deep expertise, but they also understand how this expertise relates to other sectors and market trends. Learning market trends and what's going on in the world can also be helpful. If you're thinking about getting into this field out of university, I would say grades matter, but not as much as you think. It doesn't hurt to be a high achiever, but it's not the end of the world if you got a B or C or D, as long as you have other skills to make up for it. So why does this matter to you and how can you increase your chances of getting a job in venture capital? There's many ways to do this. One way is to build a startup. It doesn't hurt to work on a problem and a solution that customers are willing to pay for. But you can also publish white papers, write open source code, work for a startup or a growing tech company, and along that way try to openly share your ideas with the world. You can build a following and create a network of like-minded people. It is easier said than done, but I know that you got this. If you're interested in venture capital and entrepreneurship content, subscribe to this channel. Let me know in the comments what you're interested in learning, and make sure to check out my other videos. With that, peace out.